boys and girls, welcome to Storytime with Pastor Steve.
Today's story is Otter Be Brave. It was show and tell time in Otterbe's class. He and his friends gathered in a circle as Miss Woods called Felicia up to the front. Felicia always brought something interesting to share, and she was good at telling stories. Otterby wiggled with excitement. Felicia stood in front of the class and zoomed her toy airplane over her head. "My Aunt Francine is a pilot, and she gave me this plane," Felicia exclaimed. "There's a red lightning bolt on the tail. That's why I named it Lightning." She took a bow, and everyone clapped. Then Miss Woods pulled a name from the hat. "Tomorrow will be Otter B's turn to bring in something special and tell us about it." Otterby gulped. His tummy felt fluttery. His knees felt shaky. "I don't want to do show and tell," he whispered. Roscoe leaned closer. "Don't be shy, Otterby," he said. But Otterby felt very shy. Felicia swished her fluffy tail. "I think talking in front of the class is fun." It didn't sound fun to Otterby at all. Tabitha pulled her head into her shell. "You could pretend to be sick tomorrow and stay home," she suggested. But Otterby was pretty sure lying would only make him feel worse. On the way home from school, Otterby talked to his best friend Franklin. "What if I forget what to say?" Otterby buried his face in his paws. "What if everyone laughs at me?" Franklin thought for a moment. "Well, it wouldn't be everyone," he said, "because I would never laugh at my best friend." Franklin winked, then hopped up to his house. That night at dinner, Otterby told Mama and Daddy about show and tell. "I'm going to be all by myself up there, and everyone will stare at me." Daddy put down his fork. "You know," he said, "sometimes I feel nervous when I have to talk in front of people too, like when I give a presentation at work." Otterby stared at Daddy. "You?" Daddy smiled. "Sure, but God says He's always with me. Remembering that helps me feel brave." Mama nodded. "That's right. And God also gives us friends to help us feel less afraid. Think of all the good friends in your class." Otterby suddenly sat up straight. "I have a great idea," he announced. "Can I please be excused?" He sped off before Mama could even answer. She and Daddy chuckled as they watched him scamper to his room. The next morning, when it was time for show and tell, Otterby grabbed Franklin's hand and pulled him up beside him. "Hey, what's going on?" Franklin asked. Otterby held up a picture he'd drawn the night before. "My show and tell is a picture of Franklin and me," he explained. Franklin blinked, then beamed. "He's a really good friend because he helps me and cares about how I feel. I brought him up here with me because I was scared to do show and tell alone. And Daddy told me God is always with me too. So now I feel braver because I don't have to do it all by myself." Otterby and Franklin sat down, and nobody laughed at them. In fact, everyone clapped and cheered. It wasn't nearly as scary as Otterby had thought it would be. Actually, it was so much fun that Otterby thought he might try being brave again. If you are feeling nervous and you're shaky in the knees, try asking God to make you brave. It's how you ought to be. The Bible says, "Be strong and brave. Do not be afraid. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord your God. I will be with you everywhere you go." Joshua 1:9.